Hey everybody, it's Larry from Hobby Progress, and today we are going to take a detour from painting, and we are going to take a little side trip into assembling. Um, Due to some recent changes in my tournament list, I need another Carnafex. I only have two of the shooting type, and I needed a third one. So, I've got here in front of me today a Carnafex Brood box. I'm going to try to assemble one of those for you. So, got my instructions, and let's dig into this. So, if you watched one of the previous episodes, you'll notice that I had my tournament list all laid out in front of me, and was telling you about it a little bit. Well, some things went wrong, and I'm not going to be able to run it the way I wanted to. So, instead of having the Swarm Lord for my main HQ, I decided to swap out and take two Flying Hive Tyrants and a Tyranid Prime to open up points so that I could get some more shooting in there. So I'm taking 3 Hive Guard with Impaler cannons for my shooting, and then 3 Carnafexes with Heavy Venom cannons and Devourers with Brain Leech Worms. So that way I've got a little bit of swarm control and a little bit of anti-armor control. Now, my other 2 Carnafexes are set up with 2 Devourers and Stranglethorn cannons. Because back when, I used to really like Stranglethorn cannons. So that's probably how I'm going to actually model this one today. And then we're just going to play Zaz for some Venom cannons. Because, I mean, they look pretty similar. You can, well, pretty similar. They're both big cannons. You can kind of see you got a Venom cannon right there and a Stranglethorn cannon right there. So, I mean, while they're obviously different, most people don't care. Even in larger tournaments, I've been told they don't care. Although, honestly, I haven't never played in the tournaments. So what we're going to do is set this aside. I'm going to crack open my instructions here because I've only built 2 of these in the past, so I need a little bit of help. Although, they can't be that hard, right? So, set... Now, when it comes to assembling, I am just like my painting. I'm not the most fastidious person. I do like to. I mean, I like my stuff to look nice. Obviously, don't get me wrong. But I'm not. I shave off all my sprue cuts, but I'm not one of those that's gonna go in and file every single mold line, and it's just and spend 6 hours building a Carnafex. I could, but my paint jobs don't actually reflect all that extra work, so yeah, I don't do it. That's not to say I don't want my models to look good, because I do want them to look good. So if the mold lines are really bad, I'm going to go back and take those off. You know, that's just common sense. Why would you not? But we'll show you how I go here. As far as equipment that I'm going to be using today, I use the, because I am that way and I wanted to spend too much, I use the Citadel clippers. These are really freaking awesome clippers. I know they're expensive, but if you're looking to get a set of clippers, they really are just super good. And then I also use the Citadel mold line remover. Like I said, I don't go through and remove every single mold line, but it's super nice for shaving stuff off without damaging your mini. Because if you use an X-Acto knife, you can gouge a little, and you can actually damage, the mini, and you can stab yourself if you're, not using proper blade safety techniques. So it's nearly impossible to draw blood with a mold line remover. I mean, you could, but in standard usage, you should not be drawing blood with your mold line remover. So you'll see, like, I was just cleaning off the injection mold right there, but like there's a slight mold line right here down the edge of the tail. You can't see it because I'm using a cell phone to record my videos, so I don't go through and remove that. You just won't be able to see it once I'm done painting it, or if you can, well, you're paying way too much attention to my minis as I'm pulling them off the board as you kill them. So they don't usually stay on the table that long. Because most of the GW's injection ports hide really well, so it's just not that big a deal. But anyway, get a little bit more into why I had to change my list. Or, actually, you know what? Let's just give you the breakdown of my list real quick. That'll help. So, going High Fleet Leviathan, so I can get everything with a 6-up Feel No Pain. Help keep some of my big creatures alive. Because those Feel No Pains are priceless. I mean, seriously. With everybody having AP4 crap nowadays, having a Feel No Pain's great. So High Fleet Leviathan on everything. I'm only running one battalion detachment, 3 HQs of 2 Flying Hive Tyrants with a Monstrous Scything Talons and 2 Devourers with Brain Leech Worms. That way, I was actually not running the Brain Leech Worms. I was running the Slimer Maggots, which were Assault 3, so you get 6 shots with 2 of them. But I decided to switch over to Brain Leech Worms because they're Assault 6. So it's 12 shots, but they're Strength 6 instead of Strength 7. And AP 0 instead of AP 1. So, I mean, while I'm getting 12 shots, it's no AP. But I'm thinking 12 shots will make up for the lack of AP. I'm hoping, anyway. So, and then I'm running a Tyranid Prime with Scything Talons and a Devourer, I believe. Just cheap as hell. Just to get a Synapse creature in. And then troops are 2 squads of 20 Gene Stealers as the bulk of my infantry, and 1 squad of Rippers, 3 Ripper Swarms. That way, I can fill out for my battalion, so I can get 3 HQ choices. And plus, they're good little objective grabbers. That's everybody needs a little bit of objective grabbing because they can deep strike in. I also plan on running the Hive Tyrants deep striking in. So yeah, that's the troops. Elites are going to be running 3 Hive Guard with Impaler cannons. So they're my main artillery pieces. Don't need line of sight to shoot. They got good range. And that's where my Tyranid Prime will be, so that they can have Synapse so that they can not just shoot at the nearest visible target, because that just cripples them. And then also, I guess, yeah, it's also in the elites. Be running 3 Venom Thropes to screen my Gene Stealers. That way they don't get shot off the board turn 1, because that is a serious problem. So they'll be deployed right up front, Gene Stealers close behind to make up that core. And then a squad of 6 Zoanthropes. Those squad of 6 Zoanthropes will be going in my Tyrannocyte, because I still think that will be a good deal. I've yet to play a practice game with that because I'm a slacker and I've been working too much. So I haven't gotten that practice game in. So I'm still thinking that's going to be a good idea. Jeez. Oh my goodness. See? If you're not paying attention, you start breaking things. I think I put too much glue in the sockets. And so now I'm having to hold it for too long. Again, because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. So where was I? Oh yeah, 6 Zoanthropes in Tyrannocyte. Tyrannocyte with 5 Death Spitters. And then for my heavy support, be running 3 Carnafexes with heavy venom cannons and twin Devourers with brain leech worms, so that they've got the heavy 12, or not a heavy 12, assault 12 with the heavy D3 venom cannons. So that's awesome. And they'll be running Spore Cysts, Carapace Mounts, and then Enhanced Senses heads. That way they're hitting on 3s, and they are -1 to hit because of the Spore Cysts. So that is planning on walking up on you and shooting and shooting and shooting the closer they get. Just mobile tanks, basically. Just get up in your face. Cause you lots of grief. Because that's what Tyranids are good at. Trying to get up in your face and do work. So yeah, that's the list I'm looking at running. It's 2,000 points. That's the other thing that caused me to change my list, honestly, is the tournament was 1650. Because everyone was saying, oh no, we're not finishing games, in the tournament circuit, so we're going to lower the points to 1650. And then they were just like, you know what? No. Everyone whined so much that we're not getting to do all our crap in our lists. So instead of playing 1650, we just all went back to 2000. So I had some extra points to play with. And so yeah. Just turned out that the Swarm Lord, while he wrecks face, is just so many points. He's 300 points for just him. And that's expensive. And he has no shooting at all. And it just, every time I've tried to play an all melee Tyranid list, it doesn't work. I get my face kicked in, and I'm kind of getting sick of that. So I'm going to try to play not quite the net list for Tyranids, because I'm not running all Flying Hive Tyrants. I am only running 2, well, mostly because I only own 2. And I'm not going to go out and buy 4 more to run the current meta net list BS for Tyranids. So, yeah. So I changed my list up and got that. And I think it'll work good. I mean, it ought to, right? I mean, the dynamic of the list with stratagems, I should be able to get my Gene Stealers, at least one squad of Gene Stealers, into combat turn 1. Because there's a stratagem that allows me to move and then play the stratagem. I think it's 2 command points, and I can move again. So moving again, and then Gene Stealers can move and advance and then still assault. So you move, you advance, stratagem, move and advance again, and then assault. So there's pretty much no place on the board that I can't reach turn 1 with a properly played Gene Stealer list. Now, they're going to leave their Venom Thropes behind, but like I said, you place the Venom Thropes in front and place the Gene Stealers close in behind. That way, if you don't get turn 1, if you don't get first turn, then you have something to soak up a little bit of shooting, because if they're smart, they're going to focus on those Venom Thropes first, before they try to attack your Gene Stealer. So Venom Thropes will die to shooting, because they get their -1 on themselves too. But, and then Gene Stealers get on. And then hopefully, you move and advance your second squad of Gene Stealers and keep them in coverage with your Venom Thropes, because your Venom Thropes should be advancing as well. Yeah, and then you keep your bubble of protection on. All the meanwhile, you should be able to drop your Tyrannocyte. I keep pointing over here because the Tyrannocyte's, sitting over here. Yeah, you'll notice actually I got some green on it. Hey, did that while you weren't looking, but I got bored with it, and plus I ran out of green. My Death World Forest ran out. But either way, you drop your Tyrannocyte in with your 6 Zoanthropes that you've been seeing me paint, and drop Smite on people. Those are another wall that you can't ignore. And with their 3-up invulnerable saves, they should be able to take a beating before they go away. I should have dry fit that before I glued it in. That's fine. Anyway, so hopefully, between the Venom Thrope screen, the Zoanthrope screen, I should be able to sneak up on you. Not really sneak up, but I should be able to get Carnafexes up on you, so that they can get the full effect of those Death Spitters. Because those Death Spitters only have a 24-inch range, or no, 18-inch range. That's the other downside of going to the Brain Leech Worms over the Slimmer Maggots, is I think I had a 24-inch range on the Slimmer Maggots. I think I only have an 18-inch range on the other ones. But either way, the Venom Cannon's got like a 36-inch range, so I'll be able to shoot you turn 1 with the Venom Cannons anyway. Then get into range turn 2 with Assault 12 stuff to start blowing up your screens. Whatever the Zoanthropes didn't take out, and the Gene Stealers. So that way, turn 2 you're worried about my second blob of Gene Stealers, you're worried about Carnafexes, all the while I'm pummeling you from the back end with Hive Guard and and my Tyranid Prime, although he's just really there for deep strike support, and like I said, Synapse. And then wrecking your face. So I'm not going to be a very stagnant army. I'm going to be really focused on killing my opponent, getting them off the table, or restricting their movement up front. I don't want to play the stagnant game. I can, but I don't think I have the durability um, to play that game. I really don't. So, I'm hoping to get a lot of the like maybe, what's the mission? Because we're playing Renegade missions, so I'm hoping to get a lot of the strike the rank and file, where you have to eliminate the enemy's troops. I believe that's the right one, and then do a mark for death. So like take one of their troop commanders or something like that, like I don't know, no one runs commissars anymore, but something like a commissar or whatever, mark it for death. That way, I can I can hopefully clean that out with my Gene Stealers really quick. You know, knock out a commissar and everything right up front. Not sure if that's going to be the most effective. And then for that's for my secondary objectives. And then check your contact points before you lay glue down. Just saying. That is a mistake I make more often than not. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully you get like a mark for death on an infantry leader, and then you can take strike the rank and file, so you can wipe out the infantry, and then you can hopefully do some primary objective holding. Like go for the ones that are in your enemy's deployment zone. Go for the ones where you get line breaker, stuff like that. I mean, I almost always take line breaker, so it probably is mark for death, strike the rank and file, line breaker. Those would be my three secondary objective deals, and then hopefully you're holding objectives for the rest of the go. I mean, it doesn't always work out that way, but generally. Okay, should be done with that sprue. So I'm going to put you back in the box. But then again, best laid plans. That's another Carnafex. Probably not going to need that sprue, so you can go back in the box. Yeah, that's something else. I mean, Carnafexes now, you can't buy them individually. You gotta buy them 2 at a time. Well, Carnafexes run in squads of 3, or broods of 3. So you gotta buy 3 freaking boxes to make the Carnafexes work. Well, 3 freaking boxes if you want 3 Carnafexes and a HQ. Which I do, because the second Carnafex out of this box is actually going to become Old One-Eye. Because my Old One-Eye is ancient. Metal Old One-Eye. And is currently undergoing remodeling to become a Screamer Killer. So all 3 of my old metal Carnafexes are getting that treatment. All becoming Screamer Killers, and Screamer Killers are going to be my brood to run with Old One-Eye. While all these fancy brand new Carnafex models, these models have been out for a long time. They're brand new to me, dang it. All these brand new Carnafexes that I'm making here will be shooting Carnafexes. And then, obviously, one Old One-Eye. Because he looks way cooler now than he used to. So, yeah, and then eventually I would like to pick up some more of these Carnafexes and make, actually, I'm looking at picking up the Forge World kits for the Stone Crusher Carnafexes, the one with the crushing claws and the big horns that come off the back. Because they have some really cool rules. I really enjoy the way that they go together. They're a little expensive, but it's Forge World. You kind of got to expect that. Um, and I've already proven that when it comes to this hobby, I have a problem. Um, because apparently it doesn't matter how much it costs, I'll buy it eventually. So we have a Carnafex head with enhanced senses. I like these heads. Super cool. They've got like 3 eyes and the big horns off the top. Super cool. Kind of look like moth heads. How cool is that? I mean, who doesn't like heads that look like moths? Alright, I think we are done with the main body. We just have to make this head go in the body. Oh, jeez. I must not have gotten the contact points right on that. Anyway, throw a little glue right there. Now, as far as assembling goes, I used to be a big super glue fanboy. Like, it was all about the Loctite super glue. I still like it. This stuff, Loctite gel, for repairs, lots of different stuff. If you're using any resin bits or whatever, love this stuff. It's expensive, but works really well. But here recently, more recently, I've started using the GW, or not the GW, I guess, the Citadel plastic glue. This stuff is fantastic. Now, disclaimer is super glue you can break. Like, you can pop it off if you don't like an arm or whatever. It's not permanent. Citadel plastic glue is permanent. It welds the plastic together. So if you drop your models and stuff, they are going to break. Like, not just pop at the joints, they break. So there's that. And if you ever like to replace your weapons a whole lot and stuff like that, this isn't like the little, sticky tacking guns on and stuff. If you want to do that, you need to magnetize. Which, honestly, here anymore, I've become a fan of not magnetizing my stuff. And if you can afford it, just buy new ones. Seriously. Variety. Then you can just pull out a whole new mini. And it gives you an excuse to buy and paint more minis. Well, that's super cool. And a lot of people will let you proxy until you can afford it. As long as it looks halfway similar. As long as it's remotely the same model. For heaven's sakes, people. Lighten up a little, right? But then again, like I said, I also don't play in the super competitive tournament scene either. Okay, looks like I can pretty much ignore the instructions for the rest of this. So, gonna glue my guys to the base here. With the legs on here. They really don't give you much base room on these things. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Alright. I even use, a lot of people will like, oh my gosh, you use plastic glue on the basing. Yes, I do. I use plastic glue on everything. It takes a little longer to stick to the base, but it sticks and it doesn't come off. Seriously. I mean, I've dropped my minis that are plastic glued together. I mean, come on, these things are pretty resilient. And just be careful with your minis, for heaven's sakes. We pay a lot of money for these things. Don't go throwing them across the room. It's a terrible idea. They're plastic. They'll break. Be an adult. So, I realize this is not the most interesting video to watch. You're probably like, man, this is boring. This guy's just rambling on about nothing. Well, you're the one that clicked on my video. So deal with it. But yeah, I like the Carnafexes with the enhanced senses for the shooting ones. I think that's super cool, the +1 to hit that they get. I mean, that way, even if they lose synapse, which my Carnafexes should have synapse for most of the game, I should be able to drop my Flying Hive Tyrants in with them and keep them in synapse range. While I let that guy dry on the base, so I'm going to go find my weapons. But with the enhanced senses, yeah, they hit on 3s with the enhanced senses, but they'll hit on 4s otherwise. So, I mean, you're not losing a whole lot if you keep them out of synapse range. So, yeah. And then Spore Cysts. I realize that's an expensive upgrade, but better to have it than have your guys freaking shot off and destroyed. You know. But that's what I'm hoping, though, is like I may not even need, that distraction on my Carnafexes. I don't think they'll absorb that much fire because I don't think people will be that scared of them. I think they've got enough other problems. There's just enough other targets for an opponent to want to shoot at for them to really be wanting to focus on my Carnafexes. With Zoanthropes and Gene Stealers and I don't know. It all sounds real nice and tactical in your head. Then you put it on the table and you're like, oh my god, this is not going at all how I planned. I mean, that's the way most of my lists go. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to win this tournament. This is going to be amazing. And then you wonder why you went, 0-3. I never wonder why I go 0-3. It's because I'm not a very good player. I like to play, but I am not very good at this game. Just not. Again, that's what I think this game is all about. I think it's at the end of the day, it's just a game. Have fun, build your models, paint your models. Enjoy it. I mean, yeah, you're at a tournament. You paid to be there. You want to win. Everyone wants to win. And I'm not out there throwing games. I'm not. But I also know that I'm not a competitive. I mean, I'm not a must win at all costs kind of player. So, I just, I'm not going to be winning major tournaments anytime soon. One of these days, I'd like to walk into one of my local store tournaments and come out with a winning record. That'd be awesome. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. So yeah, got my Stranglethorn cannon assembled. Now that I've got that assembled, that guy should be dried to the base now. I can now kind of mount the body, with the enhanced senses head and the carapace mount. I can now mount that to the legs. This is a pretty simple mount too, because it's all peg to hole mount, so like it's pretty sturdy how it goes in there. I'm gonna have to pick this up. I'm gonna do it this way. So bam, get that kind of level. Look at him, see if he's. Oh yeah, he's looking badass. So here we go. Let's see if we can get him to face the camera. So yeah, it's Carnafex with no arms. So you kind of get a look at that. And then get a Death Spitter. And a Death Spitter. So these are going to end up going on the top. And he's going to kind of hold him a little gangster style, sideways. Going for the kill shot, because that's the way it's going to have to go on. Because the Stranglethorn cannon, I forgot. The Stranglethorn cannon has an arm. that goes with it. Yeah. It's... I said I was done with the instructions. I'm not done with the instructions. Oh my god, I got spiky bits falling off. The Stranglethorn Cannon uses this one with the big sack thing on it. Just super gross. But yeah, it is a little bit of a bummer. I wish I didn't have to put the Death Spitters on at an angle. Like, I don't like the way they necessarily look when they're like that. I mean, they don't look bad. I've seen plenty of other Carnafexes that wield like that because that's the only way you can assemble them. So, friggin'. But, yeah. Alright, got that. Got that. So we're going to put the Stranglethorn Cannon on. Gonna do a little dry fit here. That's one thing I recommend, and you've seen me already make the mistake once. So learn from my mistakes. Dry fit your stinking minis. Because things don't always go as planned. Yeah, that's the way you want it. And we're probably going to have to do it just like that. Okay. Okay, so how we're going to handle this is, because plastic glue doesn't really dry until it's on contact, you've got a little time. You put a little glue in the socket, then you take your Carnafex, put a little glue in the socket, put a little glue in the socket, set him back down, pick up your two arms, stick the arm ball in the socket, stick the arm ball in the socket, stick that in the gun socket, and then wish you had 4 hands so you could hold everything in place. And you wait until your glue dries. But Citadel glue really does dry relatively fast. It's not bad at all. And hope to God that you didn't just mess up. No. Yep. I think I did. Too late. I should have had one of my other Carnafexes out here to look and see what I did, but I think I just glued this gun into the wrong arm sockets. Actually, I don't think I did. I think that might actually look slightly better than... it's not going to look any better. No, I put it in the right spot. I did. What I was doing the whole time. I don't know what you were talking about. I'll teach you guys to doubt me. So I'm going to do these one at a time. Because I don't have 4 hands. I'm not some freaking wizard that can hold things with my